Okay, so I'm gonna do another video, YouTube watch history video. I'll skip over these. What do you call them? These guys. All right, so I watched a video about a guy who I didn't really even watch this. He bought an expensive opal so he could cut it into smaller pieces. Who cares? This one was kind of interesting. It was about a guy who was trying to create a pass-through water filter for his drain pipe, and we'll just kind of like let it play in the background. Mute it. Mute. Oh, I have surfing keys, which is like it's Vim free browser, and so hold on, how do I fucking mute this? It's Vim for the browser, so it lets me like do things with keyboard shortcuts. So I'm using J J J K K K. F will let me like select things on the screen. I don't know. This is a thing that I use anyway, so like sometimes the keyboard shortcuts don't work unless I do the pass through. Anyways, um, so he's trying to make a drain cover for or like a drain filter. This is kind of an interesting video. I watched it while I was high, so like, um, I don't know. I was just like binging shit. But the idea was that he wanted to make a filter that would filter out sand and debris and not the water and keep the water because he wants to collect the water but not have junk in it. And it's such a fucking weird niche project because he really wants it to be self cleaning, so there can't be anything that like he can't ever need to be cleaned. But like with the amount of effort it takes to fucking design something that is self-cleaning, and it also doesn't even work that great. Like it only captures about 90% of the water because it relies on like surface tension stuff, and the water has to come in contact with the filter, and if the water goes straight down the center then it doesn't touch it, so it doesn't really work. I mean, it worked though. Like it definitely filters out sand and debris, but it's also just like it's such a fucking weird requirement. It's kind of stupid and silly, but it was an interesting idea, I guess. Um, how many guns would it take to save Zion? Okay, this is like an analysis of fucking the Matrix and how like if at the end of the Matrix they've got those like mechs with the Gatling guns and they're trying to shoot the robots as they come into the city. Like, how long would it take to how many of those would you need to comfortably defeat all of the robots? And the answer was like a really big number because it's way too many robots. And there was just like a really stupid level of analysis in this video. I kind of didn't like it because he was taking he wasn't just answering the engineering question. He was also like answering questions about like the story and stuff. And I was like, dude, you can't like answer questions about it's the story is the story. I don't know. Okay, let's see. How robots could save 6 million worth of recyclables a year. Oh, this was very interesting. I really like this, although so basically it's this company, and I'm gonna turn up the quality a little bit. I have a default Chrome extension that sets the quality to lowest unless I want it to be higher. Um, so basically, it's this company. They've got a whole bunch of AI sorting robots that sort a whole bunch of trash. It's actually really fucking awesome. This is exactly the kind of thing that I would like to see more of in the world. So they like dump big bales of trash into like this thing. It separates them out into small pieces, and then they've got AI robots that basically like pick through it and separate all the kinds of trash into all the kinds of things. And then the things that are recyclable, because they're much higher purity, can be sold for much higher prices to recyclers. So if they want particular kinds of plastic or aluminum, paper, whatever the fuck, they can do all that. And it's all automated, so there aren't like this. I don't know why they're showing video footage there of people manually picking through trash, but I don't think that's these people or this facility. I think it's like someone else. They said that they sell their bales of sorted trash at 90+% um, like purity, and I love everything about it. The only thing that they said, the only problem is that there's a lot of kinds of trash that cannot be resold to recyclers. For example, colored plastic, anything that's a colored plastic, recyclers just don't want it, so that goes into landfill anyway, and that kind of sucks. But other than that, this is exactly like the kind of business that I love. It's like a real um, awesome uh, opportunity for AI and automation, and I hope a lot more shit like this happens in the world. It's really really cool. Um, I didn't watch this, although I want to watch that. I don't know why it says that I watched it. I didn't watch it. Okay. I watched these two videos. Are great. Fuck. I I love the shit out of this. So there's this guy. He visited this Thai farm where they're growing fruit trees, and they also raise murder hornets. And also turn up the quality on this. Oh shoot. Okay, turn up the quality. So they raise murder hornets, and he like that's him in the beginning. He eats like one of the larvae, and then they go to the farm, and so basically like these people they were farmers farming trees and fruits, I think, and then and they're increasingly becoming more murder hornet farmers. Like so they can. They basically just have like these murder hornets. They set up a spot for the nest where they can get into and harvest the nest, and they have like DIY uh, like murder hornet protection that they wear, and this is like essential protection. If you didn't wear this, it's not like bees where like if a bee stings you it will hurt. Like this is like these murder hornets will kill you if you don't have protection. So they suit up. They got like these suits with fans and stuff. They go up, and this is that they pull it out. This is a 3x speed, by the way. They pull it out, and so the larvae go for I think 25 pounds, $25 a kilo, which is apparently like really good money. They only get like 88 kilograms. This whole nest I think they said was 80 kilograms. And then there's another video. It's actually really funny. He did two videos of the same exact thing. He said there was going to be a sequel sharing more details, and so I was looking for the sequel, and I found another video of his, but it's literally the same video. It's not the same people, and it's not the same nest, but he goes and it's like he does the same video twice. It's exactly the same experience. It shows him eating like the hornet larvae at the beginning, and then they go up into the hills, they find a nest, they uncover it, and then it's the same thing. Like he shows how they that's footage of them like starting a new nest. So they will find the queen hornets and trap them and sell them. That's for $25, which is I think like in Thailand like that's a lot of money. $25, and then and so, but really, what they want to do is basically just like start a big murder hornet farm, and they've got like a spot where they have like 8 different murder hornet nests all next to each other, and it's really innovative and interesting because like he puts a microphone right up to the larvae, and they make this little like sound. Oh, it's fucking nasty. Um, but so apparently the larvae are really delicious. He's like, wow, they're really good. And then you can cook the larvae in like the half made form, and he says that's not very good. And then you can cook the adult murder hornets, and though he said that's pretty good. They cook them in baking grease or something, and apparently that gives it really good flavor. But like apparently I don't know. You get the idea. And this was just like, and then I was just like thinking a lot of thoughts about like how I want to start business and just, like trying to figure out like the logistics of how much effort it would take to do something like this. And yeah, it's really interesting. The main thing, okay, so like they show how they find a new murder hornet nest. They go and find a hornet out in the wild, and they'll tie like a feather to it, and then they can watch it fly back towards home, and they keep doing that until they find the nest, and then they can come with their suits and basically just like harvest the nest, but also they'll find the queen and keep the queen, and then the queen can start a new nest. Um, and apparently it's just like as big business, and people really like to eat these. Um, I don't know, super fucking interesting. I was really captured. I don't know why my imagination was so captured by this. I guess it's just like because it's on their farm, and murder hornets are murder hornets, right? It's like they have really dangerous stings, and they will also swarm and sting you to death. Like they're very very aggressive, and they have a swarming behavior where like if they know one of them is attacking, the rest of them will also attack. So I don't know how that works, how you can keep murder hornets on your farm and be safe from them, but they seem to do it. So I don't know. This was interesting. This was like these people trying to create a water powered bellows. Um, Honestly, it was kind of weird though that they're trying to do it. Like, why powered bellows and not a water powered hammer mill? Because that seems way more interesting and complicated. And this, like, I don't know, the backyard water powered bellows is fine, but like, I don't know, it seems stupid. Uh, this one was about a company that will make AI slop, but the AI slop isn't good. But also, like, YouTube demonetized AI slop now, so I don't know why that is a thing. Although I have seen like this style of video AI slop, I have seen it a lot on Instagram, and I don't like it at all. Um, this was a guy who made a video about the Vietnam's iconic this cone shape grass hat. Um, it's called the Nон La, and he's apparently passionate about that. I don't care though. This was a video about making cheddar cheese, and this is something I am interested in. Um, so these people, they got their farm, they got their dairy cows, and they milk them, and blah blah blah. And then this woman and this guy, like, they do, their whole job is to make cheddar, and they have like this big vat of milk, and they pour the rennet in. They get the curds. They test the curds with their hands to see if it's firm enough. And apparently, like, this vat is big enough to where like the heat is different across it, so they have to like do a special procedure to uh, account for the fact that like one part of it might firm up before the other part does, and then they chop it up, and then they drain out the water. You got the curds, blah blah blah, and then they stack up the curds, and then they salt them, and then they press them, and then they're talking about how like fancy cheddar can sometimes have like, so apparently cheddar is something that you uh it's not a cheese that you would expect to have been to do well commercially, because it has to sit on the shelf for a long time to age, and so most dairy makers originally did other cheeses that are faster, but um, and so they show a bunch of stuff at the end here of the cheddar sitting on aging, and they said they age for like, I want to say 9 months, 9 to 15, and the 15 ones have a much like bolder and more complex flavor. Blah blah blah. They cover them in lard, and then the mold grows on the outside through the lard, and I don't know. I just want to eat some cheddar. It fucking looked delicious. And they said that this fancy cheddar sometimes will have a little like blue line of the mold growing through it, and apparently that's like really delicious, even though it doesn't happen very often. Um, yeah, it just really made me want to eat some cheese, make my own cheese. I've always wanted to make my own cheese. It's just like something I would hella do. It doesn't even look hard. Um, they just, I don't know. It's their fucking operation, so they have to do a lot of it. Um, let's see. Oh, this was super interesting. So these people are trash men, but they ride bikes to do it. And this video, I did not get it. I was high when I was watching this, so I don't know if I got all the details. But basically, like, this guy rides around with this specialized bike trailer, and picks up trash and takes it to the dump. And that's his whole job. And it's not just him. There's like 28 or 30 other people who all work in the same business, riding and taking trash like this to the dump on bikes. And the way they talk about it is very serious, like it's a career. And the entire time I was just like, wait, but how could this possibly be a career? This is obviously like uh not skilled labor. I mean, like, it looks kind of like a fun and cool job, because you're riding your bike all the time, and I'm sure you're just like incredibly fit, and just have like tons of external benefits from being like that fit and using your body all the time. But I don't know how they make enough money to live. Like, they never once talked about like how much they get paid, and that's like the main thing that I want to know is like how much they get paid. Also, I really like the design of their bike trailers. It's really inspiring. I wanted to like have my own bike trailer that is that size, because like I would totally want to fucking use it. Um, okay, this fucking guy, this guy, he makes salt forks, and super unexplained why he's making salt forks, but he just wants to make a fork out of salt. So he's got his rock salt, and he's fucking turn the quality up. He's got his rock salt, and just like and he tries a whole bunch of different things, like ways of making salt forks, and then he finally starts CNCing them. He tries laser cutting though. He tries water jet cutting them, and I think he eventually is using all of the above. He's using CNCs and water jet, and I don't know about the laser though. This is the final video. He made a whole bunch of them, and a lot of people ordered his salt forks so that so you can stab your steak with a salt fork and then eat your steak off the salt fork, and you don't need to salt your steak. Um, I don't know. It's a fucking stupid and weird thing. He's a software engineer apparently, and he's been doing this for like 2 years or something. This is him preparing salt forks for order. Um, I don't know. I don't get it on any level, and it's not really explained. He's only got 3 videos on a channel, and they're all this, and he has 243,000 subscribers. This salt fork thing really took off, even though he's only got 3 videos, with no explanation of why he's doing it. It's just like I don't know, but it's a good time. It's a good time. It's fucking stupid. Um, oh, this was really cool. Okay, so this guy basically created a battery powered Wi-Fi modem for like $105 or something, and the military is actually literally paying $20,000 for the same exact thing. So it's like 200 times cheaper. And so he made this, he made a video about making it, and he was like, I hope nobody gets mad at me from the military for making something that they have for cheap. And then apparently they didn't get mad, they actually liked it, and they called him up and they were like, hey, can you help us, do better? He's like, I don't know, and this talks about like government overspending or something. I didn't really care about that, so I stopped watching. But like, it was interesting that the government is overspending that fucking bad on stuff. Like, what the fuck, government? Uh, um, the dumbest animal. Okay, I don't like this guy's take. I lost a lot of respect for this guy because of this video. He just kind of like talks shit about this fish and how stupid it looks, even though I don't really think it does look stupid. And I don't know. Starship Flight 11. This I don't like that channel. I don't talk about what they're talking about. I usually really like this girl, Lab Muffin Beauty Science. She's a beauty chemist. So she like does a lot of like debunking videos about beauty products and like sunscreen or like what is not true about beauty science, and mostly skincare products. And she's fucking great. I love her. She's very like science based, and she does really deep dive breakdowns about a lot of things. Um, well, let's skip that one. Okay, everything. Uh, I didn't watch that. Why is that in my history? Also, having 6 weapons that China's okay. I didn't watch that either. Why is that in my history? Um, I didn't watch that either, but I think I wanted to. Why is it in my watch it? I think it's because I clicked on it and then just didn't watch it. Or maybe I clicked on it and forgot to like open the tab. I didn't watch that either. Okay, this is one I do want to talk about. Biosphere 2 documentary. Okay, so basically, I'm fucking obsessed. My brother did this video about Biosphere 2, which I really like, and okay, let's pull up shit so we can. This is my brother's video. Um, and it's a good summary of what happened at Biosphere 2. So Biosphere 2 is this. Let's see. Let's turn the quality up a bit, and then let's go to parts where they show what's going on. So Biosphere 2 is this staggeringly beautiful and inspiring, ambitious as fuck biosphere project where they made a biosphere, a really big, and uh, in terms of engineering, very impressive building to have a biosphere, and then with the intention of having people inside of it so that they could prove that you could go to Mars and live on Mars. That's what they said. But everything about this project makes no sense and doesn't add up. And so he like made some videos about it, and when he made the videos about it, I was talking to him about how like it just like nothing about it makes sense. And the reason, okay, so the reason is because like there's like a bunch of different like overlapping and contradictory like narratives about this this project and what happened. Um, and so like this is my brother's video, and we were talking about it. This is his second time doing a video about it. And it's pretty good. And then so okay, I'll go back. This is the documentary, full length fucking documentary. But this documentary is like extremely biased in my opinion, and so I'll just kind of let it play a little bit. But I'll speed it up here. This is like 10 times speed. 10 times speed at maybe my internet can't keep up with that. Let's do 7 times speed. So basically, essentially, I'll do an even shorter breakdown. There's this cult who really doesn't want you to think they're a cult, and they've got a cult leader somehow got a billionaire to fund their idea of making a biosphere to do like a proof of concept, like can you live on Mars in a biosphere? But nothing about it makes sense because what they say, that's what they said they wanted to do. But in actuality, none of the things that they did line up with that goal. They made this incredibly complicated biosphere that's really beautiful, and they put like 4 or 5 different like macroclimates inside, like a desert, an ocean, a rainforest, and I think some other stuff. And the problem is that like you wouldn't do any of that if you're going to go to Mars. You would not bring you would just bring plants that you need to like create oxygen and food. Um, they also and so they brought like they super massively overcomplicated project. This is in the beginning. They're talking about like how their group got together, which is another story that doesn't make any sense. It's obviously like everything about this documentary and everything about Biosphere 2 is like fabricated. There is no like concrete real information basically because it's all this cult who was like really culty and trying to fucking hide the truth about their intentions for some weird reason. And so also another weird thing about this documentary is that the only people you hear from are like 4 or 5 people who were inside the biosphere and maybe like a couple of people who are managing it. But it was put forward to the public as a science project, and you never hear from any of the scientists. You never hear from any of the engineers, which there must have been many, because so this is like the build up to them talking about their history to why they're going to build the biosphere. Let's actually get to the part where they start building it. So, and it just it doesn't make any goddamn sense. If like a proper documentary, I don't want to hear from the scientists. I want to hear from the engineers. I want to hear from like the people who funded it and why they funded it. I want to hear from I want to hear why they made all of their decisions, because none of their decisions actually make any sense for why it for what they said they were going to do. And then also there was a tremendous amount of media backlash about the project for reasons that also don't really make sense to me, because like they're like they put it forward as like a scientific discovery thing where they're gonna go inside and uh, try to prove that people could live in a biosphere on Mars, and but it doesn't make sense. Like you wouldn't do any of this stuff. You wouldn't bring in like 3 different climates if you're gonna live on Mars. You wouldn't bring in bugs. You wouldn't bring in animals. I mean, you might bring animals, but it would be food animals, not like uh what they tried to do is like sort of make a mini Earth inside of this biosphere with all the complications of Earth, and you wouldn't do any of that if you're trying to go to Mars. They also like, and then the media got really mad because at one point they like somebody got injured and they had to leave, and then at one point they pumped in extra oxygen because they didn't correctly calculate like how the oxygen was going to be used, which if this was an actual scientific experiment to prove that people could live on Mars, then that would be totally fine, because like you could just factor it into your equations like how it's going to work. And so like none of it makes sense, and it's also just like a lot of culty weird shit, or like they're showing like the cult members like dancing in weird ways. Were part of a theater troupe apparently at one point, and also like were observed like doing rituals and costumes. And it's just like it's all weird as fucky. Anyways, like it really captured my imagination though, because like the building is beautiful, the biosphere itself is complex and really really cool, and also like there's so much obvious potential that was wasted because of how everything was mismanaged, and also just like everything was lied about. There's a lot of lying, there's a lot of double talk, there's a lot of like I don't know, it's like I don't know, this story is really interesting to me, and yeah, Yeah, it's even more interesting, I think, just because like of the shadowy way in which like you can't get any concrete information about it. So like I don't know. Moving on. Essentials of EUC seated riding. Okay, this guy. I've watched a few videos about how to ride your EUC seated because I really want to learn to ride mine seated. Um, this is a video about solar panels that are double sided, and so they're tremendously more efficient. I think they're also probably like twice as expensive because they're just putting panels on both sides of the panel. But you can get ambient, like it's almost twice as efficient solar panel if you put it in a place where the ambient light can shine on the back of it. And actually, I'm not going to show any of this video, but let's see. Really interesting video about Pompeii, the ancient city of Pompeii. Every time I learn about uh, ancient cultures, the main things that like really stick in my mind are like basically that they were all so fucking sophisticated, and there's tremendous overlap between what was going on then and what is going on now. I also think that about anytime I think about like what people anytime basically anything anyone was doing before the internet, I'm always just like, wow, like people were capable of so much when like their communications were not that great, and their ability to like even record things were not that great, and like their like their ability to teach and learn was not that great. Like they still accomplished like so much. It's like it's insane. It makes sense that we can accomplish it a lot now because we can communicate and we can learn, and we have like really good ways of teaching and stuff like. But like it just that was not necessarily as true. Categorically way less true before the internet. Just like the ability to communicate and relay information was just way less. Um, a video about amethyst, how it forms, and also like how it used to be historically a lot more important and valuable, but now it's a lot less because it's just really common now. So I didn't watch any of those. I watched a video. Okay, I did watch this video about tarp tests to see which tarp is best. I love this guy, Project Farm. He just does like hardware comparison and review testing, where he will test objectively how good a product is, and a lot of times like it's surprising which one is which one is best. Almost never does it correlate with how expensive it is. Usually like there's one somewhere in the middle tier that is like dramatically outperforms everything else, and it's not more expensive. It's kind of just like middle priced, and I really like those. If I ever want to buy like a hardware product, I usually like see if he's got